Hello, I'm MrMatthews, and before we move on to Mega Man 6, I'd like to circle back and spend some time with Mega Man 1. Now, this is not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is near and dear to my heart. And I would say it was actually instrumental in my YouTube career, for lack of a better word. Now, like most people, I played Mega Man 2 first. I hadn't even heard of the Mega Man series up until then. It wasn't until later that I rented Mega Man 1, and I didn't like it. I thought it was clunky and frustrating and not very fun. And that's the opinion I carried pretty much all the way through adulthood up until about 3.5 years ago. And that's when I started thinking about making my own YouTube videos. And my first idea was a no-death run of the original Mega Man. I picked that game for a couple of reasons. One, I love Mega Man, obviously. Seemed like a good place to start. And it's a challenging enough game that I figured it would be somewhat impressive. While at the same time, not being so challenging that I would have to spend a whole lot of time and energy on it. So I did, to some degree, go after low-hanging fruit. But what really drew me to the game was the score counter. I like the idea of having a constant tally of points, which should, in theory, eliminate any questions anyone had about the validity of the run. I've always kind of like points in games for that reason. I suppose you could fake a no-death run like this, although I don't know if the esteem you would get would be worth the amount of effort you'd have to put into that. Anyway, that was my logic at the time. So after a few weeks of practice, I uploaded my first no-death run, which was a very timid, very cautious playthrough of this game. And at that time, I only had one subscriber, who was Jackal. Jackal is my not only my oldest subscriber, but he's also my longest running internet friend. We've known each other since about 2008, 2009. We were members at Sega 16's forums together. And he's always been very, very supportive of my channel. In those early days, when it was just him in the audience, I could always count on at least one thumbs up for the videos I was uploading. Jackal has his own channel. He actually has 4 channels. I think the main one he's most active on is Retro Jackal. He is British, so he is very Sega-centric. So lots of Mega Drive gameplay videos, Sonic the Hedgehog. So you snipe me out of the air. So you should swing by, take a look, tell him that MrMatthews sent you. I'm sure he'll know what that means. Actually, he's probably watching right now. So thank you, Rob. I really appreciate you hanging around for this long. Really means a lot. Now, at some point, I fell in with who I think of as the Europeans. That would be Jez from Digital Pollution and Cub, aka Lone Wolf Cub, and Brent, aka Brent Utini. Also, just another nerd. And even though he's from Texas, I would say that Euler Greg is a part of the European group. No offense, Greg. You know it's true. And those guys were they definitely gave me a good push. They were very, very encouraging, very supportive, and gave me a lot more activity on my videos than I was used to seeing. Without their encouragement, I don't think I would have gone very far with the YouTubes. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the most esteemed member of the Europeans. It was Dr. Bollocks. You may know Dr. Bollocks as the wise ass from the comment section, but he's also the voice of Mario's Time Machine from my rarest NES games video. You stinker. Yeah, that was not my voice. I don't do impressions. When I heard his reading, I knew that he was going to be probably the highlight of that episode, and he was hysterical. And he's always been very, especially supportive of my channel, even going so far as hooking me up with the video editing software I use. I owe quite a bit of gratitude to Dr. Bollocks. Thank you, good doctor. Now, after I did the first no death run, I did continue to practice the game because I was determined to get kind of a perfect run. By necessity, I started to employ, I guess you can call them speed running strats, because I wanted to make the video as short as possible to try to keep audience retention as much as I could. I figured the shorter the video was, the more likely people would watch all the way to the end. So I think my first video was 35 minutes, somewhere in that range. So I continued to practice it until I got it below 30, which is definitely below, or which is definitely quite a bit above the world record. I don't think Caleb Hart or Cool Kid have anything to worry about. So I would say at this point I am definitely more familiar and probably more skilled at Mega Man 1 than any other game in the series. And just by virtue of the amount of time I put into the game, it's gone from being probably my least favorite game in the series to being one of my favorites. There is a endearing quality to how charmingly janky it is sometimes, and I do love its simplicity. There's no there's no denying the appeal of having a kind of a more streamlined version of the game. I think that's definitely what they're going after with Mega Man 9 and 10. Here's a pro strat. Whatever direction you jump on the ladder from is the direction you'll be facing when you get off the ladder at the top. So I've jumped on the ladder from the right side, so I'll be facing to the right when I reach the top of this chamber here. I want to be able to react as quickly as I can to Elecman, who is definitely one of the more challenging bosses in this game. This is going to be a quick and dirty, no death run. Just going to be employing all the easy strats. And I think afterwards I will do a no power-ups run, which would be more interesting, I think. I had done a buster-only run of this game a couple times, just offline. Didn't bother to record it, just to see if I could do it. It's definitely possible. Well, obviously possible. There are only probably 4 or 5 really severe sticking points in the game when you're doing a buster-only run. This stage being a big one. Iceman is probably the hardest stage, and also, I think, the hardest boss to do with just your arm cannon. What? That seemed a little glitchy. I think Mega Man 1 probably has probably the best overall selection of sub-weapons in the series. Mainly because they're not very well balanced out. Like the Thunder Beam here is very powerful and doesn't use a lot of weapon energy, so it's pretty easy to just equip and just run through an entire stage with it without worrying about running out of ammunition. I get why they put more restrictions on ammo in the later Mega Man games. However, when you put such a harsh restriction on resources for a sub-weapon, it just makes me less inclined to use it. And that's why I don't really use sub-weapons too often. 'Cause I just would rather save it for when I really need it. I think Thunder Beam is probably the best weapon in this game. Probably this game's version of the Metal Blade. Definitely your go-to when you want to kill anything and everything at any place on the screen. Check this out. That's not a bottomless pit. Looks like it. Now another shout out to Celestial Light right here. On his recent playthrough, he made it through both of those fire waves without taking any damage. That is a pixel perfect maneuver. I've never been able to do that. I can occasionally make it through one of them without getting hit, just by pure luck, but never both. That is the kind of gamer that Celestial Light is. I'm gonna try the cheese strat on Fireman here. Good enough, I guess. I think that works a little better with the arm cannon. That's probably what I'll do when we get to the refights. Bomb Man is my favorite robot in the game. I think he's the coolest. He also has the best stage music, in my opinion. His stage is easy enough that I think an argument could be made, and probably will, that his is a good stage to start with. However, I don't think so. It is true that his weapon is effective against Gutsman. I'm fully aware of that. But Bomb Man's weapon is kind of a pain in the ass to use, and Gutsman is not a pain in the ass to take out with just the arm cannon. So I think it's actually harder to use the bomb on Gutsman than just to use the Buster. So I don't think there's any advantage to taking out Bomb Man first. Besides, Bomb Man stage becomes even easier when you've upped your arsenal with some of the other weapons in the game. So I like to leave Bomb Man stage as like a little treat for myself as a reward for making it through the other 5 stages. Like, for example, it's very easy to remove those respawning enemies from the equation with the just by freezing them. Like this guy right here. If you don't freeze him, he will continue to respawn as you make your way through this next screen. And he becomes a real nuisance when you're trying to climb up this ladder. But if you freeze him, he will not respawn. That's very convenient. I love this Bomb Man fight also. You're never really in any danger, I don't think. But I do like how active it is. Reminds me of the Crash Man and the Metal Man fights from Mega Man 2. Now we go to Dr. Wily stages. There is no establishing shot of the Dr. Wily castle. I don't think that was in the budget. They didn't think about that until Mega Man 2. And I think that this stage music is, I wouldn't say it's underrated. I would say it does need more recognition. I love this Wily track. Let's try that again. There we go. Now, a true no power-ups run, unfortunately, is not possible. You still need to use some sub-weapons to to get through the stages, specifically to get those blocks out of the way. But you also need the magnet beam at some point, which is a power-up. I don't know why I had that equipped. Definitely got to be careful not to get knocked on the spikes there, because your iframes do not protect you from spikes. Learned that the hard way a couple times. And this is the point where if you didn't grab the magnet beam in the earlier stages, you're pretty much boned. You'd have to go back down here and kill yourself on the spike so you can go back to the stage select screen. I don't know if I would call that bad game design, but it's kind of bad game design. Here is everyone's favorite boss. This is widely considered to be one of the hardest boss fights in video game history, which is a slight exaggeration. He is a tricky boss for sure. But not completely insurmountable. As long as you are kind of paying attention and you figure out his pattern, which is not too hard to break down. He's really not that. He's still tricky, so I don't want to say he's not that hard, but he is definitely more manageable than you would expect. One more hit. Yeah, you still have to be on your toes and paying attention, but this is definitely not the hardest boss in this game. Platforms always kind of give me the butt clenchies. Crap. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass. Yeah, with any luck, some enemy will drop a health power up, I hope. Rude. All right. Well, this is the boss that always gave me the most trouble. So we'll see how this goes. He doesn't really have any real weaknesses. The best thing to do is just to take advantage of the damage knockback he has. Kind of keep him in a constant state of taking damage, which does require some fancy timing. What makes that fight especially difficult is that, not difficult. What makes that fight especially tricky is that he switches to whatever weapon you do. So you have to keep track of who's who. A lot of times I'll be looking at him and wondering why the controls aren't working. Fortunately, with those two stages out of the way, the game does get a bit easier. There are 7 robots here. They do become increasingly faster as the fight goes on. I like to take out the first 3 with the arm cannon and save those blocks for the last 4. Like so. So if you are low on weapon energy, there's a couple places to recharge here in this stage. The first being right up here at the top of the ladder. So everything respawns in Mega Man, and that includes energy pellets and lives, I've noticed. So it's kind of, you just go back and forth and recharge your weapons. Definitely want to do fire. Hey. And maybe one more of magnet, you never know. Clink. Alright, that should be enough. Now, alternatively, you can go all the way to the end of this hallway, and there's a Yashiki icon that will refill all of your energy bars, including your health. But that does take a little bit more time to do that. I'm glad to have a full health bar now, so I don't need to do that. because here are the boss refights. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Not bad. All right, so I'm gonna try Buster only for the cheese strat for Fireman. Seems like that's a lot easier to do. Why are you doing more? All right, you're getting nice. Jerk. All right, so hopefully Gutsman behaves himself. Let's see, do I risk a bomb? I'm gonna try it. I hate using bomb. It's a crappy weapon. But at least he's staying over there. That's kind of cool. Well, I got lucky. Nope. Darn it. Goodbye. All right. It's actually probably one of the easier Wily fights in the series. Nice. And Dr. Wily was never heard from again. Yeah, I probably played this game more than any other game in the series, and as a result, it's definitely become one of my favorites. I have probably the most attachment to this one, just because of all the time and energy I put into it over the years. And as I said, it is I would say it's instrumental to starting up my journey. Sorry to get cheesy. On YouTube. It all kind of comes back to this game. So for that, it will always be one of my favorites. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mr. Matthews. Goodbye.